Lovely evening to everyone. Hello, hello. So, good evening, Asia. I am live right now from the Philippines. So, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining our webinar. So, this is something that I'm actually looking forward on a monthly basis. So I see here that we've got a lot of viewers right now from all over Asia. Shout out to those who were watching from Malaysia, from the Philippines, from Singapore, from Hong Kong, to everyone. So I hope you're all safe and comfy. And we have prepared a very productive agenda for this webinar session. So, let me introduce myself first. I'll be your host for this evening. My name is Romy, and I am actually a proud GoDaddy guide. So, one of the roles that we have is making sure that our partners and our customers are set up for success. Okay, so thank you so much for signing up to this session. We have prepared a lot. So we will be discussing all about e-commerce 101. And you guys are actually up for a treat because after that, we will also have a live demonstration of one of the platform that we offer here in GoDaddy. So after that session, we will also open the floor for all of your questions. So if you have questions, you can post that in our chat right now. Okay, so since we are doing this on a monthly basis now, we want to hear from you. And we want to make sure that in the future webinars, we will address the things that you want to hear, whatever you want to watch, or if you want us to interview someone, you can always email us your suggestions. So, everyone, you can email us at webinar@godaddy.com. So, that's webinar at godaddy.com. And as you can see, our Facebook chat is there up and running. Everyone is very ready to assist you if you have inquiries and questions. Okay, so I'm very excited this evening because I know that we will be discussing a lot of things that will give us more information on how we can set up our business for success. So I know this whole pandemic situation, with a lot of business closing down, we were forced into adapting to the new reality, right? And that is through selling our products and our services online, or what we call establishing our e-commerce website. So I'm very happy to introduce our speakers for today. So for our first speaker, we have Kaling. She is our social media content and marketing lead. And then after that, we will have an actual live demonstration from a GoDaddy Guide supervisor, my colleague Jenny Liu. So, without further ado, I'm gonna pass the microphone right now to Kaling. Take it away, Kaling.
Thank you, thank you, Romy. Sorry, I was going to call you Jenny. My apologies. So thank you, Romy, and a very warm welcome to all of you tuning from all over Asia. So thank you once again for joining us this evening. My name is Kaling, and I'm the social media and content marketing lead for APAC. So I know some of you guys might have questions, and I do see a couple of you who have raised your hand. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A box or drop them in the chat. So what we'll do is after the end of after my session as well as the demonstration by Jenny, we will get to your Q&As as soon as possible. So without further ado, let me get started on today's webinar. All right, so let me just quickly get my slides going. All right, so today let me. Okay, let me see. Oh, okay, great. I think we are. Please let us know if you have any issues seeing the slides or the screens, or otherwise I'm just going to start right now. So today we're going to be talking, it's going to be a very quick introduction on e-commerce 101. So like basically how you can start your first online store. And today is going to be presented by me as well as Jenny, who is our GoDaddy guide. So the agenda for today, we are going to give you a quick introduction to e-commerce, and most importantly today, right, let's all take a step back beyond building an e-store and think about how to build an online presence. One of the key things about going online to run the business or to kind of be known online, right, is to think about what actually constitutes building an online presence. And today I'm going to give you a very quick run through of how that happens and what do you need. And after that, we'll basically go through the GoDaddy e-store and think about how you can actually utilize this e-store to get your online business running very quickly. And thereafter, I'll hand over to Jenny for demonstrations. So once all of that is done, we will take some of your questions and answers. All right, moving on. All right, so before we start, let's do a very, very quick poll over here. So I know you guys are all coming from different places today. So I really want to understand, like, basically, who are you? Like, what are you thinking of right now? And do you actually currently have your own website? So I'm gonna give you guys maybe around like 2 minutes to do this poll. Yeah. Wow, I see a lot of people who are looking to start an online business. That's very exciting. Like, this is probably one of the moments where everyone is looking into, how do I actually bring some of my goods online, or how do I start running like a service online? So I think this is the part where we will go through a little bit on how you can get started. For some of you, you might actually have further inquiries after this session. This session is meant to be really a 101, something that covers the basics. So if you have any more questions and if you have any more things that you need to clarify, right, please feel free to email us or to just chat with us on our Facebook Messenger. All of our GoDaddy guides are on standby to help you with, like getting your business online. So, right, wow, interesting responses that I'm seeing so far. Okay, I have quite a few of you who we're still waiting for a few more, so maybe I'm just giving you all another like 30 seconds. Well, I see quite a significant portion of you who are looking to start something online. I'm very excited for you, and I really hope that after today's session, you will feel very empowered and feel very motivated to get on with the trend, and just start something. A lot of times, one of the biggest inertias about starting an online business is starting, basically. So I'm hoping that after today's session, you will feel very motivated to get going with what you wanted to do. All right, just a few more seconds before we end our poll. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll right now, and let's just quickly share the results. Yeah, so you see, we have a lot of people who are looking to start online businesses, and this is something that's very encouraging. And some of you are looking to start your own side hustle. Let us know in the chat what sort of side hustle do you want to start? Yeah, because the thing is, throughout our time at GoDaddy, we've seen a lot of people start very interesting businesses. So like, just share your idea. Like, if you have something that you're looking to start, right, we're more than happy to hear from you and help you pave our way to success. So I'm gonna quickly move on to my next slide. Okay, so one of the things about the pandemic is really how it changed the way people look at e-commerce. All of us, I guess, in this room here, we have probably already purchased something online. We've had basically for some of the business owners who are part of this session, you might already have looked at transiting your business online or kind of like move some of your operations there, because the fact is the pandemic has actually changed the way people run businesses. The fact that there's been a lot of lockdowns happening, a lot of physical businesses not being able to operate at its full scale in different parts of the world, meant that people had to start looking for other avenues to run their business. And that basically gave rise to kind of the e-commerce boom. We had basically e-commerce being a rising trend, but I think the pandemic basically brought it all the way to a different scale altogether in a very short span of time. So from some of the surveys that we've seen, 40% of APAC consumers are planning to do more online shopping. I think we are probably part of the 40%, because I definitely bought a lot more stuff online these days. And within Thailand itself, there's been a lot of increase in search interest in e-commerce sites. And within Singapore itself, there are actually 74% of first-time online buyers during the circuit breaker period that happened last year. And one of the most important part about this trend is that this is going to be more or less permanent. We see a lot of trends come and go. We see a lot of sort of ways of doing things being part of a certain time period. But the thing is, with the pandemic, a lot of purchase behavior, a lot of buying is going to be a little bit different from what's happening in the past, because people now see that online buying is a very viable long-term option, and that's something that a lot of businesses would definitely be pursuing to basically catch on with this trend. So in this case, the accelerated shift to online and how entrepreneurs must adapt. And in this case, what we're really looking at is how the global pandemic has changed the circumstances for businesses. There were physical stores that had to close, and like I mentioned earlier on, because mobility is so limited, right? I basically have to turn to buying things online. And in this case, in today's session, besides talking about e-store, which is one of our solutions, right, I'm going to be taking you through how to build your digital presence online. Because to me, that's a fundamental part of bringing your business online. And whether you're running, a business selling goods, or you want to start like your own like service business, you want to offer something online, right? This is really the basic and something that you need to understand before you and kind of get in place before you actually look at, like doing any sort of business expansion online. So in this case, if you want, so before I start the part about digital presence, a quick summary of how do you want to take on the digital marketplace. You definitely need to look at your inventory, that you have to look at also your customers' preferred modes of payment, and things like shipping and logistic options is something that you will also have to look into as well, whereby I think in different parts of the world, there are actually many different solution providers. And one of the things about having an online presence is the fact that customers can actually reach you more easily. And if you have a strong digital marketing strategy that's in place as well, right? This is something that you can definitely leverage on to basically amplify your presence. And I think that is something that you should look into after you establish your digital presence. So without further ado, I am going to go into this section to talk really about how to build an online presence. Like I mentioned earlier on, this is really the basics of going online. And I'm going to share with you a couple of tips and tricks and some of the things that you need to look out for as you start building your presence online. So a quick summary, these are the 7 elements. In one of our earlier webinars, we actually call this the 7 wonders of the digital world, because I think with these 7 items, right, you more or less have already built a very basic online presence. And what you then need to do is to look into aspects like, like continuing your social media strategy, ensuring that, you get the word out, through different means. But before that happens, you need to kind of get these things in place. And I'm going to go through them one by one right now. So the very first thing is a domain name. I think all of us are probably familiar things like www.google.com, or if your business is like like azos.azos.com. Your domain name is like your online address, and this is something that's your unique entity. Like how do we always kind of like the kind of analogy that we put to it is, think about this as like your house and your street address, right? So if you don't have a street address to like identify your house, people can't find you. And in this case, this is actually one of the things that needs to be given careful thought, because once you have that in place, right, more or less people are going to be remembering through your website. It's just like how some of the bigger e-stores that in today's world, right, like things like Lazada, Zalora, and stuff like that, they have a sort of like online presence that's so prominent that people just go there directly, and that is something that you want to achieve for a business. And in order for that to happen, you need to think about having the right domain name first. And in this case, if you have a unique domain name that's unique to your own business, right, this actually helps to really build credibility for your business, because I think a lot of times people do tend to take unique domain names more seriously. They know that, okay, you are a legit entity trying to provide, something online. So that's something that you should be looking at. So some tips on choosing the right domain name. First is always keep it short. You need to keep it memorable and most importantly, relevant for your business. So think about general human behavior, right? How do we remember things? We always want to remember something that's very catchy and very, very short and succinct. And I think that brings me to my second point. Definitely avoid things like long strings of numbers or dashes or any other things that might confuse customers. So things like spelling that might be a little bit long in general. So a lot of times where people have longer business names, but that's also something to think about if you want to have a business name, keep it, short and simple, because you don't want to have a URL that's like 30 characters. Most of the time people are just going to forget it. So that's something to take note of as well. And one thing that you want to look at is if you're looking at a very competitive sort of business, right, think about how you can include relevant keywords that describes your business. So for example, if you're selling like maybe say a drink, could it be a part of your identity, like something coffee, for example, or something tea, that could be a key consideration. And another thing that you will want to do is you need to protect and build your brand, which is why one of the key things to do that, even before you think about subsequent steps, is to really secure the domain name as soon as possible. Because, for example, if you're going to be called a certain name, right, and you realize that the domain is going to be taken, chances are it's going to be a lot more troublesome for you to try and negotiate the domain back from its original owner. So in this case, that should be something that you will want to consider as well when you're choosing the right domain name for your business. So moving on, the next thing is a professional email. So I'm not too sure about you, but for a lot of small business owners, right, a lot of them will start running their business, perhaps not even on the website. They could probably start it somewhere else, right? And they say, okay, you know what? Let me just use a Gmail, or let me just use, like, a free email provider, which is fine. But the thing is that having a professional email actually builds a lot of credibility in the eyes of your customer and your audiences, because it really shows that there's some level of legitimacy in the business that you're running. And in this case, right, thinking about the professional email, this is like your mailbox. If you have a house, right, which is like, your website, think about this as the mailbox. You want to also have a professional mailbox that can receive, like inquiries from customers and stuff like that. So that's something that you definitely have to take note of when you're building your online presence. So some tips to match your domain name to your email. So at GoDaddy, we actually do provide a professional email at a very low cost. So in this case, what you can do is you can first register your domain name, and when you're choosing your email plan, right, remember to choose the email alias to one account. And you can also actually set up the email online. But most importantly, you have to ensure that um, it matches the domain name that you're registered for. So in this case, right, you have to ensure that, for example, if you are saying like your website is www.something.com, right? So that email needs to match your domain, so that there's some sort of consistency in the way you actually set up your professional email. Okay, now that you have these two things, you can start to look at building your website. So in this case, right, a website, it could be a single page, or it could be basically like several pages online. And when you enter the domain name, you view these pages, right? So in this case, once you launch your website, this is really like the house that you're showing to the world, and you basically can put in, different things, different elements. And today, for all of you who are interested in building a website, right, GoDaddy has two different solutions. One is website plus marketing, which is actually targeted at people who are running businesses, who are running um, offering services, or if you want to showcase your portfolio. If you are looking at setting up a business that sells physical goods, right, definitely you should look into the e-store, which is something that we'll demonstrate later on. So some things that you need to take note of when you plan your website. So before you even start planning your website, think about, what are your business goals, like what do you want to achieve out of this business. And most importantly, you need to also determine who are your target audience. Why are these important? Because this is how you're going to be basically building your website, thinking about the sort of content that you're going to put in there. Think about the sort of like features and functions that you want to put in there, so that you can actually um, reach out to the right target audience. One thing that you should want to take note of is to define your unique selling position. So, for example, if you're selling food, or if you're selling drinks, if you're selling clothing, right, what is unique about the products that you're selling? So, in this case, once you have that, this is something that you will definitely want to display very, very prominently on your website. And of course, once you have these basic structures in place, keep creating great content, keep optimizing as you go. And most importantly, a point I'm going to cover later on, you need to ensure that your site is very secure, because you don't want a situation where, your website gets hacked, or, it starts displaying some weird stuff, and all these things are very important to take note of as part of your web maintenance. So moving on. I've condensed this onto one slide, because this is something that will require definitely a lot more research. And if I were to go into, in depth talking about this, right, I'll probably need another 3 hours. But just a quick summary of the other things that's outside of your website that you need to take note of. The first thing is, when you are creating content on your website, do ensure that your content is actually search friendly content. So in this case, you want to include relevant keywords. You will want to include relevant content that people are searching for so that people can find you online more easily. If you are interested in more content around search engine optimization, please visit our blog because we've actually come out with a lot of articles that helps you to get started on SEO optimized content for your website. And that's actually one of the most important building blocks of creating good online content that helps you to become more discoverable on search engines. So moving on from there, another thing that you need to take note of is to ensure that you have all the business listings online that you can actually, like make a presence known. One of the most important ones is actually Google My Business. Do ensure that your business is actually, you can claim the account, I think, on Google and have your business actually listed on Google My Business, because that is actually going to help you be very, very discoverable online whenever like someone within your locale, especially if you're a local business catering for local audiences, right? You will want to ensure that you are actually listed on Google and listed within the business listing so that people can find you very easily if they're searching for a specific type of service. And the next one, which is social media marketing, which happens to be what I do at GoDaddy. Social media is all about connecting and like sharing and basically becoming part of the conversations online, right? So this is something that will always be ongoing. You have to basically keep like doing this as you are running your business. Ensure that you are actually connecting with your customers on social media as well, leading them onto your website and ensuring that that sort of engagement is continual. So for example, if you want to do that either on Facebook or Instagram or even on Twitter as well, some of these platforms are actually very, very important complements to your website. And that's something that you should definitely look at. For some businesses, they actually even start their business on social media platforms. But the thing is that with social media, definitely there will be limitations in terms of managing things like inventory, like payments, which is something that a website can definitely handle much better for you. And last but not least, one of the most important things that we should be looking at is online security. At GoDaddy, this is actually one of the most important things that we constantly have to educate our customers, because a lot of times websites that are not secure actually poses threat to both the website owners and users who are actually accessing these websites. So in this case, if you go onto GoDaddy.com, you will see that there are actually many, many different ways you can protect your website depending on your needs. And the most important thing of protecting your website is to ensure that sensitive information is handled and stored responsibly. And I think that's the reason why it's important for you to have tools that constantly scans your website for threats, encrypts your store, and also encrypt transmitted data. And in this case, even things like SSL certifications should be something that you should be looking at when you're setting up your online store. So that's all in terms of the seven wonders of the digital world. And moving on, we will be introducing the GoDaddy eStore. So for some of you who are interested in setting up your business online, this is a product that you definitely should be looking at. We've actually launched this product very recently because this was in response to a lot of our customer needs to create a virtual storefront that blends business information with a sales touch point. And for a lot of people who are running businesses selling physical goods, one of the most important things about the for your online business is to ensure that you can actually set up quickly. And that was a feedback that we've gotten from a lot of customers, where they need a solution that they can actually set up very quickly and be able to, like launch the e-store in the shortest amount of time possible. And with GoDaddy e-store, you can actually do just that, because you can actually start this very easily. The setup is actually quite simple, which Jenny will share later on. And you can actually drag and drop a lot of the different things that you will need to set it up, and you can get it going very, very quickly. So these are some of the features of the GoDaddy eStore. So you can actually do very hassle-free social integration. Things like payment and shipping methods can also be supported within the GoDaddy eStore as well. There's also chat integration and the SSL certificate, which is important for security. And most importantly, right, this is actually there's actually built-in marketing tools that you can utilize, such as SEO optimization, and that already helps you to ensure that whatever content that you're putting on your website is actually SEO optimized. And without further ado, I am going to hand over to Jenny right now, who will be basically going through the e-store demonstration and telling you about the various features and how you can get the e-store set up very, very quickly. So thank you very much for your time, and over to you, Jenny, for the demonstration.
Thank you, Kaling. That all sounds interesting. And hi, everyone. I'm actually excited to, walk you through how to get started with having your own online store. And the poll earlier, it really makes me more exciting to know that there's like from the attendees that we have right now, a lot of people are actually looking to start their online businesses, and some are actually looking to run a side hustle. So there are 58% here as well that doesn't have their own website yet. So let me show you how we can get started in using eStore. This actually allows beginner or even those tech savvy customers that we have. You can get started with this. And for those that already got their own website, I think you're looking into revamping more of your site, or there are some features that you're looking to add to your website. So let's get started. Um, Let me just share my screen. So currently I'm on GoDaddy.com. And right now you can see that I'm on the front of site in the Philippines. I'm actually based in the Philippines. But for those that are from Malaysia, Singapore, you can simply visit your own front of site and just go to website and stores. So now let's click eStore. Okay, from this page, you can see that this would already allow you to easily create an online store. Let's just click the add to cart. Like what Kaling mentioned, you really don't have to, have a credit card handy right away because you can get started with a trial. I also noticed that we have an attendee here who's selling food stuff, but let me show you how to get started with a pet store. Let me just Okay, you would also notice here that there are small icons which represents the desktop view, the tablet view, and the mobile view. This is actually showing you how your website would look like on those devices, meaning this is already automatically aligned. All of the contents that you have on your website, you don't have to focus on editing them, making sure that it's optimized on different screens. Let me just get back. Let me just share a different screen. Give me one just minute. I think we're just experiencing a bit of technical issue. So, okay, just give me 1 minute, guys, to share you the management store. Give me just a minute here.
Actually, so while we are still waiting for Jenny to share the right screen, I know we've got a lot of small business owners here. So this should be a good community for us, right? So if you're a business owner right now, and you want to spread your business, right? So type that on chat. Type your business name, your social media pages. So we could be a great community. We can definitely check your products. The attendees can definitely check your products and see if they're interested with it. So go ahead, post that on chat, guys. We want to see all your businesses right now, and see, probably we have like some people interested. You
Right
know,
on. Thank you, Romy. Okay, so just want to make sure that my screen is all good now. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that, guys, but okay. So, moving on. Right now, what you can see is the multi-screen site editor. So once you click that add to cart button that I just clicked earlier, you should be redirected on this screen. And on the left side, you will see the sections which would represent the tools that you can use, or the sections on this e-store. And as you hover over these sections, it is actually showing you already what is that section about. Like, if for example, for this content, this is where you can manage your images and data. Then personalize, you can create individual experiences for your visitors and all of those stuff. So Like what I've also shared earlier, since this is already a website, a builder that is automatically aligned depending on the view that that you want to have. Right now, I'll just go on the desktop view and edit. And of course, our favorite one is to set up the e-commerce. So let's just click this button to set up an online shop directly in your website. And you can see there the blue button that says Manage Store. So let's just click that one. As you get redirected to your store management, you will see a section here that shows to-do list. Right now, you will see that I only have 40%, meaning I haven't done all of the stuff yet that needs to be created with my online store or with my website. So once you have completed those, and definitely that percentage will increase, it actually helps you to, have the list of things that you will need to do to get started with your e-commerce. But of course, what I would like to really show you is that the difference of this platform from other platforms, right? There's actually a seamless social integration, meaning right now you can already sell anywhere your customers are. Like if I believe there are a lot of attendees here from the Philippines or even from the other Asian market, like for Malaysia, who's also using Facebook Shop and Instagram Shopping. So you can see here that if I go to sales channels, there's an easy way here that we can sell everywhere. Meaning you can integrate your website, you can integrate your online store to this social media platforms. So how do we go about it? Right? For example, you would want to connect it to your Facebook Messenger. So you will see this section wherein you can add a Facebook Messenger link to your product pages. And if you click learn more, um, this would already show you this description of how you can chat with your customers real time, create a personal connection with them. This goes the same way with selling on Instagram. So there you go. It's a step-by-step process, meaning if you won't really get lost in setting it up, because there are already steps that you can just simply follow to create this storefront or seamlessly integrate it with the social media platforms. Additionally, you can also see here configuration for your payment. eStore is actually offering 40 plus payment providers. And I would like to really focus here, since we do have a lot of customers as well from the Philippines. Um, there are platforms that really don't offer a way to pay by GCash or PayMaya, which is actually the most popular payment method that we have. With e-commerce, you actually have an option to do that. But first, let me show you here's how. So you can pay by cash. You can add this to your online store. If you want to have your customers to do a cash on delivery or manual payment settings, just simply toggle this button. And if you want to turn that off, then just simply toggle it off. There are also available international payment methods wherein you can use Stripe, Square, and even PayPal. So how do we go with the one that I mentioned in adding GCash or PayMaya? Here you would see manual payment methods, right? We just have to click this add manual payment method. And let me say I want them to, pay by GCash. I just type in there pay by GCash. And if I would want my customers to really have a view that I'm accepting GCash payments, I would just have to click this insert image and then add the logo of GCash. There you go. So once you save that, you can already add that to your online store. What else do we have from the payment section? There's actually more options to accept online payments. If you're also offering your products or services internationally, like in the United States, you can choose the payment method here. And there are also other payment alternatives that you can see from this payment processor section. There you go. So a lot of payment options that you can choose from and you can offer to your customers. So in terms of shipping and pickup, you would also want to make sure that your customers are in stock with just one option. You want to make sure that you are trying to adapt with what shipping and pickup options they would prefer to have, or also for you. like what we can see here, we do have an option to ship it within the country or internationally. So you can enable the automatic shipping rates here, whether you want to ship it via UPS, FedEx, and so on. There's also an option to do it local delivery. So you just have to click that. Basically, that's how easy it is to, to configure everything in your e-commerce. You can see these sections wherein you can just simply click those buttons and it will already allow you to set up those shipping or delivery method. And what else do we want to see here in this e-commerce section? We would also want to focus on other settings, like making sure that the store name, the web addresses, it's here. Your company details, you would want to make sure that it's all accurate. And at the same time, you would want to integrate all the social media accounts that you have. So all you have to do is add this here. And there would be times as well that you have to close your storefront. Maybe you want to add more products to your site, or you just need to revamp something, so you would want to do a maintenance. You can simply just click this one, close storefront for maintenance. Previously, if you don't have this kind of website builder yet, you would need to do a little bit, not just little bit, but really hard coding, right? You would have to do HTML and other kind of stuff to make changes to your website. But with this one, you can actually do it with just a single click. And if you're not into manually doing all of that, the sections that I've just shown, there's also a setup wizard here that you can click. So when you're ready to get your store ready for sales, just proceed to set up the wizard. And this wizard will actually walk you through on how to get everything set up. Okay, so what else do we have from here? I believe there are also customers, or there are also sellers who prefer to have a blog in their website or their online store. So that's actually one good thing about eStore. It already has an integrated blog where you can communicate regularly with your visitors, like if you want to announce something or if you want to share a story with them and so on, you can simply have it done here. It's like you're just managing it like a social media account, but definitely you already have a website to edit there. So another thing that we can do here is that this is actually my favorite part as well here. Like, you would want to create individual experiences for them. Let me just go back to that section. Okay, let me just refresh this one. So while we're waiting for it to reload, you would also want your visitors to have the relevant experiences, right? That when someone visits your website, if it's their first time to visit your site, you like have an announcement or a pop-up notification welcoming them, and letting them know that here are the products that you're trying to offer. So let me just go back to that. Okay, I think we're still in the blog section, but let me just show you the widgets part. Okay, so for the widgets part, these are the widgets that you can simply drag and drop to your pages. Like, for example, if we would want, let me just go to contact us page. Give me 1 second. So for example, if you want your customers to have a view of, I think many would be, many can relate with this um, communication to be used, which is WhatsApp. So you can simply drag that widget and drop it on your page. Then you can already add your WhatsApp number, and you can already edit that as well. That's how easy it is, without really doing hard coding. So if I want to remove that, I just have to click simply. Okay, so that's how you can edit it, and that's how you can manage your e-commerce store. So what else do we have here? I think Kaling also mentioned earlier that there would be, search engine optimization, meaning you would want to make sure that it's not just you seeing your website. You would want your customers as well to know that, hey, we have an online store here offering these products. So you would want to help create that personalized experience and be found on the major search engines like Google. if I go to settings, let's just go to settings now. Let me just show you what you can find in the settings section. So just go to site icon, site URL, and there you would see SEO. Previously, without this kind of website builder, you would really have to do hard part in doing the SEO. Like you would have to edit meta tags. They call it meta tags, but with this one, you wouldn't have to really, have the difficulty to do that. You can simply fill this out. Site title, site description, and the keywords. And there you go. You'd be able to have search engine optimization. So what does it do? This improves the visibility of your website. Meaning, if, for example, a customer type in they're looking for food that sells, let's say they sell ramen or whatsoever, you will just have to add those keywords here, and your customers can already find you online. Okay, let me just check if I can. All right, there you go. So yeah, going back to what I was trying to show you earlier, the personalized section wherein you can create individual experiences for your visitors. So I mentioned earlier that if you have a first-time visitor, you would want that customer, to feel special, that we know that it's their first time to visit this store. So all you have to do is just click that personalized button, and when we click preview rule, there you go. It will already show them a first time visitor welcome video. So if it's their first time to visit your site, that video will display specifically for those customers. And if you have returning visitors or returning customers as well, there's also a special personalized content that you can add from here, and a lot more. Okay. So basically, you just have to click all these sections from the multi-screen site editor on your left side, and you'd be able to have your online store set up in just easy as, few minutes. You can already have it done in just a few minutes without really having to know all the technical stuff. Because what you want to do is really focus to what really matters, which is starting with your business, or growing your business. And another good thing about this e-store is that if you're not really familiar with the security, like for example, for online store, you would want to make sure that your customers, if they go to your website, they would see that it's really secure to enter their credentials, or let's say passwords, credit card numbers, and so on. There is already a built-in security feature here. So you would see that padlock icon, and it will show them that any information that they put on your website is actually private when it's sent to this site. Okay, so those are all the easy to edit templates or easy to edit sections that you can do with eStore. Another thing that I like about this, if you're really into doing it all yourself, you can already just click this question mark button as well to learn more about the platform editor, and then you'll be redirected to specific help articles here that you can really learn from. And of course, you have us. You have the GoDaddy guides that you can reach out to. You can chat with us 24/7, or you can also contact us through phone. So there you go. Basically, you will have this one one shop where everything is already there. You can sell everywhere, you can sell anywhere, and even when you're on the go, manage your social media platforms, even email listings. So it's all in this platform. We can't wait to see everyone having their own online store set up for the first time. Thank you. Let me hand it back over to Colin.
All right. Thank you so much, Jenny, for your sharing. And can we just go back to the slides, please? All right. So I hope all of you have basically gotten a glimpse as to how the e-store works on GoDaddy. So this is a solution that's meant to help you take your business to the digital space in a very short amount of time. As you can tell, that we've kind of built in the process to ensure that you're able to take your business to market in the shortest amount of time possible. So with that said, I'm going to announce something that's very, very special. You guys are probably the first group of people to be hearing this. Okay, before we go into the Q&A, I'm going to tell you guys that tomorrow, starting from tomorrow, we are actually going to be launching our GoDaddy mid-year super sale. And you know what, guys? You guys are actually the first group of people to hear about this, because we happen to have this on 30th of June, right? And I was like, okay, I have to announce this, because this is only going to be for 1 month. And if you're interested in, probably a longer term subscription, not just for our e-store, for any of our other products, from domain to hosting to professional emails, this is the month where you actually look into basically making that purchase and taking that plunge and starting your business online, because it's going to cost you much lesser in the month of July, and it's going to happen only for 1 month. You can save up to 50% of the cost. I think there are different savings for different products, so please visit your local GoDaddy website to check out what the promotion is from tomorrow onwards. So with that said, I am going to go into our Q&A. And yes, I do see a few questions here. We're probably going to take about 2 to 3 questions. And if you have any other questions after the session, please feel free to drop us an email at webinar@godaddy.com, or just drop us a Facebook message. Yeah. So let me go to our Q&A right
All
now.
right. Yes, Kaling, I am seeing a lot of questions, and even on our
Yeah.
chat, there's a lot of questions. So, okay, I can see here. I think the very first person who posted
Yes.
her question. So, I just want to give a shout out to Miel Pineda. For Miel Pineda, her question was, what are the advantages of using GoDaddy compared to other e-commerce platforms? So, I guess I'm gonna give the floor to Kaling or Jenny to answer that question.
Sure. Let me take this one. Um, I think from as you can tell, you guys come from all over Asia, and within Asia itself, there are many, many other e-commerce platforms and providers. I think the biggest advantage of GoDaddy's platform is the speed that you can get your website to market. We have actually created this product to be a very simple DIY product, where you are able to basically, utilize some sort of drag and drop. If you have some of the photographs of your business that's ready to use, right? Or even if you don't, we have stock images that you're able to use. So in this case, you basically have everything that you need, to go on to bring your business online. And also, because at GoDaddy, we are a one-stop shop. We basically have everything from domain to hosting, to professional emails, right? This is literally the place to go to, where you're like, okay, I want to start my business. I want to start my own website. And I think just from this point onwards, GoDaddy has all the solutions that you need to help you build your presence online. And with the e-store, it is another one of our DIY products, where instead of having to go through, like coding or having to learn some sort of technical knowledge, you are actually able to build, your website or your e-store very, very easily with us. So I think that will be the key advantage of our product. And I do see, let me pick another question to answer. Okay, I have a question from Nikki. You will like a recording of the webinar? Yes, we will make it available. So give us a couple of days, and we'll send you guys an email once the webinar recording is ready for you to access. So let me pick another question to answer. I do see that there are a couple of you guys who are actually interested in the cost and the cost structures, and like how long the trial will be for. Please visit the GoDaddy website. You have all the information there in terms of the costings, because depending on the period and the sort of features that you're looking at, there will be different price ranges. But if you have any further questions, and if you need to clarify any specific doubts around the pricing structure, please feel free to get in touch with our GoDaddy guys on Facebook Messenger. They will be the best people who will advise you based on your specific business needs. Right. Okay. There's a question from Maria. Is there any feature to analyze my sales, understand customer behavior? Maybe I'll have this answered by either Romy or Jenny, if you would like to take this question.
Right. Let me take that one, Tina. I mean, Kaleng. Sorry about that. Let me take that one. So, yeah, I was actually I should have shown that earlier during the demo. I was just so excited to show the different payment providers. But if you have noticed earlier, I think I can share my screen. Let me just, because there's an option there where you can see your sales, like track your customer profile. Let me just give me one just second. I think I'm sharing a different view. Just let me know if you're able to see. Is it showing the store management view now?
I think we need to switch it back to the.
Let me
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah.
Although, short answer, is it a yes or a no?
It's a yes.
Yes, it's a
It's a
yes.
It's a
yes for
yes.
us.
I
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
just I just want to show like where they can see that. So I have to go back to that page. It's actually a yes. So that's another feature of eStore wherein you can actually see your sales, or even do have a reports here wherein you can really get statistics for your site. So basically you would be able to analyze your sales there and even understand your customer behavior, like if they do have abandoned orders, or most of the time how much is their, what we call this, like average order sales and so on. So yeah, thank you Romy for that. It's a yes. I think I'm just really excited to show you how easy to see that part in
Right.
eStore.
You were like prolonging the agony.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I really
there's
want to make them excited.
there's actually
Right.
one question that strikes to me. It's from attorney Blue Silangan, MPC. So he asked like, "Hi, does GoDaddy eStore replaces WordPress?" So that's a very great question. The eStore platform, it was created for those people that wanted to build their own websites, but they don't have that technical knowledge with coding and starting, the websites from, scratch and WordPress. So it does not replace WordPress. Again, if you are comfortable with WordPress, we still offer that. So we want to make sure that we have different options for our customers, because we have different customer profiles, right? And you will have different needs. So it's still there. WordPress is still up and running in our front of site. So thanks for that question.
All right. Okay. I'm going to answer a question by Rafi. Thank you for asking this question. And I love this question. So GoDaddy isn't just a web host, but also a website maker. How much does it usually cost? Okay. So the questions about costing and the trial period, please visit your website, visit your local GoDaddy website to find out. But yes, we're not just a web host. One thing is a lot of us know a lot of people know us GoDaddy as like a web domain provider as well as a web host provider. But I think we really are a one-stop shop for anybody to build their business online, and definitely that includes things like like web page maker, website builders, as well as eStore, which is the one that we've demonstrated today. So yes, we are definitely a one-stop shop, and for all of you here, especially for those who are looking to build your first online business, please check out our website. I think you will be able to find everything that you need to basically build that very, very first like online presence that you're looking for. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. And if you have any specific questions around like our other products, right, definitely get in touch with our GoDaddy guys. They'll be more than happy to assist you, like discover what you need in order for you to build your business online. All right, I think let's answer one more question. Let me see.
Right. Well, you're
Yeah,
checking that, Kaling. I
yes,
would
we have.
like to answer this question that
Yes, yeah, I found a question that you wanted to answer. Yes, by
yeah,
Joanna. Yes.
that's right. So Joanne, the question here is that if the products are more on courses, ebooks, or online access to document books, are there features for this? Yes, it's also available in eStore. So when you go to your products, you can simply, upload those links there, or simply upload the documents or books that you would like to add. So it's a yes.
All right. Okay. So with that, I think we've come to the end of our session. Thank you so much
Is it?
for.
Oh, I'm
Yes, we
having
are.
fun.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right?
You
Okay.
know what?
Um,
This was really a great setup. It feels like you were closer. Just for our attendees' information, this is our actually first webinar,
Mhm.
via Zoom. We usually do this live, but I think we should do this more often, right? Because it feels like
Yes.
we're more closer to them.
Yes, definitely. And again, once again, thank you so much for joining us live today. This is like what Romy has mentioned. This is actually our very first Zoom webinar live sessions because we really wanted to provide you guys with a platform for you to ask questions. Like discover some new products that we're offering, and we're definitely looking to host more of these sessions. So, if you're interested in any topic like what Romy has mentioned at the start, please email us at webinar@godaddy.com or just message us on Facebook because we are planning to have more of these in the next half of the year. And what we want to do with these sessions is to really help you start building your digital presence online. So if you have any like topics in mind or if you have any sort of like kind of like burning desire to learn certain things, right? Yeah, let us know. We are more than happy to take in your suggestions and be able to tailor some of the content to suit your needs. And once again, good night to all of you. Thank you for tuning in today. And yes, we'll see you on Facebook chat if you have any further questions. And otherwise, we'll probably see you at the next session. Please remember to oh, by the way, for those of you who are looking for the recording, we will send you an email with regards to this recording once we have it ready. And yes, that's all for us. That's all from us. And yeah, please feel free to keep a lookout for our next webinar, which probably will happen in July and subsequently probably once every month. So, all right, thank you very much.
And thank
Thank
you
you,
to
everyone.
our speakers, Kaling and Jenny. Thank you so much for sharing your insights about that. So, once again, everyone, thank you so much for signing up to this webinar. Again, if there are other suggestions and what are the things that you want to hear next in for our future sessions, you can email that at webinar@godaddy.com. So after this, we will be sharing the callback links and the QR codes. So for you guys looking into getting to know our products, we have your channel of choice. So you can definitely contact us. Till next time, guys, be safe and be healthy. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.